Okay, I'll record it as well, at least the voice part, and we'll go from there. Okay, so again, name's Gary. I'm CEO of Steam Exchange. We're going to do a quick rundown of how we got here, and then I'll hand it off to my partners. Once again, in case it wasn't recorded, I was doxxed since 2018. I was in the Untraceables event and Cabana Poo Bar in Toronto. Everyone that's local knows what the event is. It actually is a worldwide event. I actually won the competition there, and I did run at the time the largest ale mining pool out of my house in the world. Anyhow, how we came about this is there was the largest crypto exchange in Canada back in the day. It was called Quadriga CX. Due to various reasons, the exchange went belly up. Mainly the CEO died and didn't leave the password to anyone. With, of course, the fact that he scammed everyone and stole everyone's money that was later discovered. I was part of the people that lost a lot of money. So moving forward, I'm also a miner. I do mine Ethereum with rigs, so I'm still currently in the crypto space, not only just the BSC space. When I got ripped off or lost my money, I was really hurt. It was at a time where I really needed it economically wise, and it really baffled me how something like this could occur. Once again, we're summing up things here. You guys can look at one of our other MAs to get a more in-depth tour. My family and friends got ripped off as well. So hired a marketing company and a research company all together. They're one and two together. Sorry, two and one together. They came up with a bunch of numbers, and the numbers are that essentially 1 out of 4 people that heard about crypto, looked into crypto, or wanted to get into crypto, got into crypto. 1 out of 4 people got scammed, essentially rendering them out of the market. The other 2 out of 4 heard about the good stuff or heard about the bad stuff and doesn't have an entry point. And no matter who you ask, whether what age group category you're in, if you heard about crypto, you heard that its potential is huge and you want to invest. People are having a great difficulty finding a source that they trust. And the idea was simple. The solution is simple: how to create the trust. We started off by a very simple one. Build physical locations, similar to current banking system. Why do you trust the bank? They have a physical location. So we decided that this will be one of our main things as a brick and mortar location, so that if you have questions, you have concerns, you have a problem, there's always a physical location you can come in and a human will be more than glad to meet you. Also, our education aspect of things that Neville can elaborate on later is very important to us. We're to be able to teach you how to count. We can't tell you what to count with it, but the fact remains that at least you know what you're doing and you're not shooting your money into a board in the dark. Let's recap on everything else. So stage one, I'm gonna change this over for you guys. Stage one looked like that. You guys can see it on the screen. It was more preliminary work. We not to say that we didn't care how it looks. Of course, we cared how it looked. But essentially, stage one was to test all the features to make sure that all the features work. Stage two is more about the design aspect of things, user interface, how it looks, how it feels, how you can touch it, what the reaction is you get from it. This is not the final point. We are developing further on that. There will be UI stage 3. Last AMA, we dropped the fact that, surprise, we're not just building a centralized exchange, we're also building a decentralized exchange and doing it all in one roof. If you guys can understand the magnitude of things, this also has not been done yet. What that means is, if you want to fill in the crazy order, we'll be able to fill it in. First, we'll feed off our exchange, then we can outsource it and make sure that if you want to drop $1 million, we'll have the liquidity to cover you. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but at the end of all of this, because we've already surprised you and told you, hey, we're only building one exchange. By the way, it's 2 exchanges. Stay tuned. At the end of our AMA, I'll drop a small bomb on you guys without going into too much detail because I still want you to stay on your toes. Without further ado, I'll transfer it over to Neville. Neville, go ahead.
Thank you, Gary. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining. Welcome to all the new members, and of course, welcome to all the existing members. So like Gary mentioned, it took a lot of work to get to where we are today. I did want to just reiterate some of the stuff that he did talk about and maybe just round it off for you guys. So he mentioned bridging the gap. So one of the things that we're doing is learning, and that's huge in the crypto space. A lot of people get in, on recommendation. So someone, their friends, their family, they'll come to them and they'll say, "Hey, have you heard of this project? They're doing pretty well. You should buy in." That person will buy in. It could be maybe your parent, your uncle, your aunt, and they know nothing about crypto. So in the meantime, you've gotten out, and they're still in, and they don't know what to do. So that's what we want to do. We want to bridge the gap and want to teach people, what to do in those circumstances. So part of our vision is to introduce education into the mix. There is other, platforms that offer education, but not at the level we want to offer it to, or offer it at rather. So, when someone comes into our platform, no matter what trading level they're at, whether it be beginner, intermediate, or advanced, we want to offer them the option to learn what cryptocurrency actually is. How did it start? How did it evolve? Where we are today, where it's going tomorrow. Teach you how to execute your first trade. What's happening when you do your trade? What happens on the blockchain? What is a validation? Technical analysis, how to choose and select your investment choices, right? So, looking at a chart, understanding this is in an upwards trend, this is in a downwards trend, this is trading sideways, whatever it may be, so you can make the smarter decision for yourself on whether to enter or exit a market. So this all happens, at Steem Exchange online, but the differentiator for us is we also want to offer it in person. So one of the things that COVID taught us, and it ties into our partnership with the University of Waterloo, a lot of the students that we talked to, they mentioned that they got hit with a really big curveball during COVID. A lot of students that were so used to learning in person, got shifted to learn online, and they're not used to that learning style. So a lot of students are suffering. And likewise, people who are learning, what cryptocurrency is, it may be overwhelming to learn about it all online. So we want to take it offline. So anywhere that Steem Exchange has a headquarters, we want to also offer in-person learning. So you can walk in, register for a program, and learn. So that really helps us bridge the gap. And that kind of brings us to where we are today. And I'll just hand it over to Chris just to reiterate some of the stage 1 and stage 2 items that Gary mentioned earlier as well. So again, thank you for joining. And Chris, go ahead.
Thanks, Devil. All right, so good day, Steem team. We really hope all is well with everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Chris Beckford. I am the head of infrastructure at Steem Exchange. For those who do know me, I'm definitely still Chris Beckford, head of infrastructure at Steem Exchange. Man, the past 6 months and some as it pertains to developing our platform, it's definitely been a wild ride. It's been a long 6 months, and we still have a lot of great work ahead of us. As Gary mentioned earlier, with stage 1, it was heavily involved around proof of concept and functionality. And when we did exit our gates at stage 1, we had a fully functioning exchange on our hands, which was truly amazing. Stage 2 was a little bit more aligned to, user integration and some of the more of the backend integrations with some additional features and blockchain integrations, as well as user updates, user interface updates. There are a lot of great things that came out of stage 2. And as a matter of fact, as of August the 31st, we turned over stage 2. Once we do get into the more of the meat of the update later on in this AMA, I'll definitely go into a little bit more detail there. So at a high level, that's kind of where we are right now. So exiting stage 2 and, transitioning to stage 3. And I'll definitely be giving you guys a little bit more. So that's just a quick rundown, quick brief intro. And with that being said, what I will do is turn it over to Neville for our in-depth operational update. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for that. So this AMA is a little bit special for us. We're in a unique position that it lined up exactly a week before we planned our launch. So that's what I want to talk to you about during my update, is how the launch is going to work. So we have 2 contests kind of running simultaneously. The first one was the whitelisting contest. And the way that worked was we made it pretty easy. It wasn't so difficult. You had to earn 20 points or more by a sweep widget. So there's a couple of actions on there to take, to participate in, like follow our socials, tweet out about Steem Exchange, and you would generate points. So anyone that has earned 20 points or more will be added to the whitelist for participation in the pre-sale. The way the whitelist is going to work, it's going to happen in 2 tiers, or the pre-sale round. So 2 tiers. The first one is going to be whitelist only. And the allocation for that is one BNB is going to get you 20 million tokens. Right after that tier is completed, we're going to enter the public tier. So in the public tier, if you weren't able to take part of the contests, or you weren't able to accumulate enough points, you can still take part in the pre-sale. But the rate's going to be a little bit different. So the rate for the tier 2 is going to be 1 BNB equals 17.5 million tokens. So it's just a little bit less, just to give the incentive to the people who took part of the competition and helped us with our growth. So that's the pre-sale. Now we also have a contest running for the private sale. The way that worked was we had our raid team and our raid group functioning pretty much night and day. So kudos to you guys. You guys did an amazing job at pushing this. But so the way that's going to work is we're going to select people from that group who's going to get a guaranteed allocation in the pre-launch allocations. It's not too late to participate in that. You can still qualify up until Monday. You can also continue participating in the whitelist competition up until next Thursday. So I'll drop all those details in the chat, pin it up, so everyone has that information. The next thing that I want to talk about the launch was, we did announce that we would be launching via DX Sale, but since then we've been doing a lot of AMAs in a lot of groups, and some of the feedback that we've gotten was to look at another launchpad called Pink Sale. So the first time I heard it, I said, that sounds kind of funky. I'm not going to look into it. But then as it kept coming up, I looked into it, and it looks very promising. So there's a lot of cool functions and features on Pink Sale that could benefit us and also benefit you as an investor. So we're going to do some testing on Pink Sale, and a final decision will be made for the launchpad later this week. And the final note for me and the launch is the time. So we're going to put a vote out in the chat around the middle of next week, and we're going to keep pinning it, keep forwarding it, so everyone has a chance to vote on it, on what time to have the pre-sale start. So again, like before, we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to be online, right? So we'll choose the option that has the most votes, so that way we cater to the most people. And just before I close off and hand it over to Anki for marketing, I did want to just reiterate this one more time. So we do have a version 1 token, and that version 1 token will be migrated to version 2. So when we launch on the 18th, you will be airdropped your version 1 tokens in version 2. So you don't have to worry about missing out or what to do with your tokens. It'll just magically appear in the same wallet you held your V1 tokens in. So thank you for listening into the launch update and the operations update. I'll hand it off to Anki to talk a little bit about the marketing.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Neville. Good day, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I want to start off by saying that many a time, with our BSC space being as active and fast-paced as it is, it's often tough to recognize a credible project when it comes our way, right? And with that being said, for a project of our caliber, we have to look beyond the BSC space as well. And that's where some of our real-world marketing comes in. So for today's session, I want to break it up into 2 chunks. The first one's going to be beyond the BSC space, right? So we first started off by setting up our foundational analytics on our website, as that would essentially be the landing page for anyone outside of the crypto world or outside of Telegram. So there's no point, we didn't see value in pushing and having extensive marketing efforts without being able to analyze the data and pull the analytics from those efforts shortly after, right? So that was our foundational step. We then followed that by doing a few website optimizations across the board. So we changed language here and there. We made things a little more concise, and the website just a little more sleek to the public appearance. One of our third sort of major milestones was our story was actually picked up and covered by Yahoo Finance, Canadian Insider, CEO Canada, to name a few. And they essentially positioned us as a homegrown Canadian startup that is taking on the likes of Binance and some other big players to ensure absolute compliance and in a roundabout manner, provide a safe space for new and experienced investors alike, right? So that was a major milestone for us. And we got huge publicity around that. And we continue to sort of get inquiries around that as well. We then followed that up by building and sort of fleshing out our media content base, right? So we did this across all social media platforms that we plan on being present across. And this, again, is essentially to help bridge the gap between crypto savvy and non-crypto savvy individuals as well, right? Telegram is a great base for us for all of us who know how to use it and for the crypto community. But again, our vision expands to beyond that as well, right? So our media content build out across all social media platforms. This essentially is a continuous effort, and it ties into our brand identity and the imagery for the long run, right? Another major win was Google Ads. So we, as Steam Exchange, we are actually one of 15 global enterprises that are allowed to work and partner with Google for cryptocurrency advertisements. So that is a major win. That is a huge platform that's essentially going to help us connect real world investors outside of the crypto space. Another aspect that we did integrate into our website was a chatbot integration. So I did mention bridging the gap between the outside world and our community, and TG essentially wasn't the best tool for that, right? So we do have a chatbot integrated and built into our website. We have a great team that manages that, and it helps sort of provide as accurate of a response as we can to any individual that comes across our page and has a question. So that, in a short nutshell, is what we did outside of the BSC space. With the BSC space, as you guys know, it's our space in general has quite a short attention span, and hence we've been trying to combine a few efforts that have been spread across timeframes, across weeks, and some that are targeted and released on a specific day as well, right? So we're trying to find a middle ground between getting our info out and not doing so too early as well. So a few things that we have done are the Reddit CMS post. So we've done a few of these, and we've been trending each time, and we will continue to do a few of these in the upcoming week as well. We actually have one live right now that is trending, so I'm sure a few of you on this AMA might be from there. So welcome to the Steam Exchange community. Twitter posts, that's been another one that we've been focused on quite heavily. We have constantly been trending and featured in the top section across multiple hashtags like hashtag Bitcoin, hashtag Binance, hashtag SafeMoon, to name a few. And we will continue to push this exercise each and every day. So thank you all for your support in retweeting and commenting. We see it and we appreciate you. Another major point that Neville brought about as well is community AMAs, right? We have been present across multiple credible groups. We've been doing AMAs and will continue to do so this week as well, the upcoming week. So if any of you are part of any communities that would see value in hearing about our Steam Exchange story, please drop me a message, drop Neville a message, any of us, and we can try setting up something with your community as well. We are also in talks with some influencers in our BSC space and are talking through a potential partnership. We will be able to share more on this as things materialize, but for now, that's all we can say. I want to also touch upon our amazing Shill Army, right, or our raid team. They've been doing a tremendous job. They are a force to be reckoned with. And honestly, we've had ongoing raids at all times of the day, and they've been putting in some serious work to help get the Steam Exchange messaging out to the wider crypto community. So if you'd like to join our Shill Army or Raid Squad, please get in touch with one of our admins as well. We will send you an exclusive invite link, and there's still time to get your spot. And we'd appreciate any of our community efforts towards this push as well. Another aspect that we did focus on was TG announcement channel posts. So we worked with a few fairly large channels to help get our messaging out, and we'll continue to do so in the upcoming week as well. Most recently, we had a YouTube video out by Crypto Moonlight. We also had a Spanish TikTok influencer share our story. We just want to involve multiple cultural and sort of different language communities as well. So that was an avenue we explored, and we will continue to do so. So we have a few more YouTube and TikTok videos lined up as well, and we look forward to that content being released later this week. We are considering PooCoin ads for a day or two prior to our launch. We've essentially at times heard that this is not the most optimal spend of our funds, of our marketing dollars, but we are considering this avenue. So it is on the table, but it's not confirmed just yet. So we also see a lot of new members from all over the world joining our community, right? So thank you so much for being here and for being a part of our vision. Welcome essentially to your new home. Once we do have a decent base, we're going to diversify into a few more managed community groups, Chinese definitely being one of them, and we will continue to push our marketing efforts, as I mentioned, across different cultural and language groups as well. So for the upcoming week, we definitely look forward to your engagement and support for the push. We need essentially each and every one of you to do your bit. And remember, guys, alone we are but a drop, but together we are an ocean. People will hear and know about Steem Exchange far and wide. It's just essentially a matter of when, right? So with that being said, I'm just going to bounce it back to Chris, and I hope you guys come along for the ride.
Thanks, Enki, and you know, great rundown. I think that's well said. You know, something that I've always been brought up on, especially from a family, because when I say Steem team, or when we say Steem team, I mean we're talking about family, right? And that saying is, you know, together we stand, divided we fall, right? And you know, it's you can definitely see the proofs in the pudding with regards to the amount of pushes that, you know, we've been able to make over the last couple of weeks just by everybody banding together. And man, I'm telling you, that Shill Army group, guys, I mean, this is something else, man. Every time I'm seeing the phone, it's just literally like messages. You guys are definitely killing it. So kudos to you, and you know, let's keep on pushing. So as I mentioned earlier on with regards to the platform, we did turn over stage 2 at the end of August. And as it currently stands, what we've kind of done in the background is carved out a mini, we'll call it 2.5, right? And within 2.5, what you're going to see is a very fun, fresh, funky, and updated user interface landing page where, you know, essentially what you're going to be able to do from that landing zone is move through our exchange with the multiple elements and different trading methods. I won't say too much because I know, you know, Gary has something he's going to drop for you guys later on. So, but with that being said, I'll keep my mouth, you know, quiet there, and you know, Gary will give you that juice later on. But as it pertains to stage 3, again, in parallel to 2.5, we are firing on all cylinders, right? We are in the final leg of stage 3 onboarding for our developer. And for those who do know, you know, stage 3 is going to be the development of our blockchain and native coin. And it's going to be a lot of great work to come there, right? A lot of heavy lifting, a lot of moving pieces. So from an update perspective, we're going to, you know, on a weekly basis, we're going to have a lot of juice to talk about there. So I expect my lips to be all dry and chapped because I'm going to be talking a lot for stage 3. So a lot of good stuff to come there once we do get deep into the weeds, right? But as previously discussed too, right, at this junction, for the roadmap, what's going to happen is because September the 20th, that is our official start date for our lead developers. Along with that comes the additional requirements gathering. So we will be able to release a high level roadmap for the launch, you know, that will encompass kind of a high level, but in terms of the actual detailed roadmaps, that will come with additional conversations with our lead development, so we can kind of, you know, carve out the fine details and we can kind of publish that information to the public. So again, I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to that, and there's going to be a lot of great stuff to come. So I think we've got a lot of great questions coming up from the AMA as it pertains to stage 3 and what's to come. So once we do get to that segment, I can definitely answer some more questions there. So in a nutshell, that's essentially where we are. Something else that you're going to see as well too this month, I'm hoping like by the end of this month going into October, will be some more in-depth. You know, we've talked a lot about our application development and you know, kind of where we are. And now, you know, we're going to transition that to, you know, from development to kind of live demos and being able to navigate through those apps and stuff with you guys. So stay tuned for that. There's a lot more, you know, great stuff to come surrounding that. So that's it in a nutshell. I know we are at 5:30. So with that being said, what I will do, I'm going to turn it back over to our fearless leader, Gary. And I think he has a little bit of OJ for you. Orange juice or pineapple juice, some kind of juice, but he has some juice for you guys. So thank you. Stay tuned.
It's juice, man. You're not serious, bro. We want some pina coladas. All right, guys. We did do demo before for you guys for stage 1. We did also demo for you guys stage 2. We did drop on you guys the news in our last AMA 2 weeks ago that, you know, surprise, we're not actually building one exchange, we're building 2 exchanges. So we have a centralized exchange and then we have a decentralized exchange, and we're combining them into one. Now, before I give you guys a teaser, I want to explain to you guys something. Our DUNS number is there. It's all legit. It's ready to go. It's Apple's accepted it. The government's accepted it. Our FinTrack is done, ready to go. We're officially legal. Again, this is just a rundown. If you guys want the official information, you guys can draw back to the other AMA, last AMA, and get the more details. Just because we're doing a rundown, because we don't want to draw too much of your time. Now, feel free to ask any questions when we're done, and we will answer them. So we're almost there, guys. Our developers that we currently took an interview from, and the second interview, now their third part is they're doing a little bit of a testing. So we gave them a job to do to see what their skill level is exactly, and they're currently attempting to come through with it, let me put it like that, before we onboard them with the final interview. So that's there. Now, the surprise, you guys want to hear it or no? Like, I don't know, Neville, what do you say? Chris, should we you know what, I'll do just the teaser like we said. So when we said, guys, we're building one exchange, then we said, guys, we're building two exchanges. What if I told you that it's actually three? So we'll go on more about that later, guys. Again, there's some things we can't tell you either because you don't have an NDA or because we're not at the half point yet where we can just drop it on you. So bear in mind. So again, centralized exchange, decentralized exchange, and then another exchange. Now, you might be baffled as to what the third one could be. But once we explain it, you understand, and you will be mind blown, as some of the people that did get that info on their NDA because they're part of another thing that we're doing were mind blown and they had to take some time to process it. So again, 1 out of 15 companies in the world that's allowed to advertise crypto related matters on Google. Not one exchange, not two exchanges, 3 exchanges built into one. Now, because we started from the bottom, we're able to factor in all these things. Tokenomics working. Why? Because we have the decentralized exchange plugged into the centralized exchange. Legitimate tokenomics working. 100% tokenomics working. Not like any other place where they send it, you get it back. Eventually, at the end of the month, it gives you your share. No. Legit, straight tokenomics working. Again, I can't talk about the third exchange too much because we're saving it for the next AMA. We will drop another surprise on you guys after the launch. Neville's been the evil mastermind of that one. And I'm sure he's very excited. So every time we see you guys, we drop something new on you guys, and when we show you that we are doing it. Should I give you a quick login? You know what? I'll tell you guys this. When you go into our landing page, there will be the token, there will be the docs that Neville's putting together. There will be 3 options. So without going into how the third one works, I'm going to tell you what we named them. So we named them Quick Swap, Swap, and Advanced Trading. So it's actually 3 separate exchanges plugged into the same backend. So it's all a seamless kind of user interface, and we're making this one look a heck of a lot better than what it is now. Make it a lot easier for you guys. Again, for novice users, for intermediate users, and for advanced users, there will be all the options there. This is where we came from. This is where we are now. Mobile applications are undergoing testing. Our testing pool for users will expand a little bit later. Unfortunately, we do have to select them from the people with the NDA naturally. We will be releasing a beta later on when it's in those stages to the public. Right now, it's an alpha. I think, guys, if we want to turn on our videos, Neville, I think this is it. I'm not going to discuss the third exchange anymore. I think we gave them enough juicy information, especially from those that were here from the beginning. They know that we follow through on everything. Sorry, Mike.
Sure, buddy.
Okay, beautiful. I don't see Chris. So without further ado, guys, if you guys have any questions, anything you'd like to ask, raise your hand, wave it, and we'll unmute you. And please, guys, one by one, and don't talk over one another, please. Let me see who's muted, if anyone's raising their hand. I can't see. Okay, look at it here. So if the admins can unmute people. Or do we have any questions there that were put in by?
So Tarek had his hands up, so you can go ahead, Tarek.
Tarek, okay. Go ahead, Tarek. Was he unmuted?
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to unmute it. Thank you guys for the MA. I really appreciate that. Just quick 3 questions. I'm planning to participate in both sales. Is it okay to use the same wallet address in both pre-sale and private sale?
Yes, you can.
Beautiful. And one more thing, will be there vesting period for private or the pre-sale coins?
No, there won't be any vesting period. So there are plans in place post-launch that handle any issues that come up with not vesting the token. So stay tuned for that. Gary mentioned that I had a couple of plans in place, so definitely don't worry about people not having the tokens vested.
Thank you, Neville. Thank you very much.
Guys, imagine it's a Coke bottle and you just twisted the cap off and you got the little. That's all you guys got today, but there's a lot more gas where it came from.
Great. One more quick question as well. How much will be the supply at the launch?
Right on. So I was actually waiting for this question to come up. So the total supply that we're creating is 100 billion. So the allocations that are in place is going to be split up between the pre-launch allocations and also the launch allocation. So when you see the pre-sale built, you'll see the breakdown of all the token allocations, and we'll also address that as well. So we'll drop that into the chat and pin it for you guys.
Thank you.
Great question. Great question. There was somebody else that raised their hand. I don't see that person anymore. But if you could raise your hand again, or if you got unmuted, where was it?
Yeah, it was
right. And just to
if you're on the raid team.
Sorry, I can't. Can we turn up the volume on this? Can't hear. Go ahead.
Hi guys. Hi. If you're on the raid team and you're raiding, are you invited to the pre-sale automatically if you're raiding every day and shilling?
Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to include the raid team in the whitelist.
Oh, automatically. So if you're on the raid team and daily working on the shilling every day, you're going to be automatically invited to the white sale, the private sale.
Yeah, we definitely recognize everyone's effort. So if you didn't make enough points to get into the private sale, we'll still put you on the whitelist.
Cool. That's cool.
Right, and before we just move on to the next question, I just wanted to add on that. So the minimum and maximum contributions, right? So for the private sale, the minimum contribution is 1 BNB and the maximum contribution is 2 BNB. But for the pre-sale, the minimum contribution is 0.1 BNB and the maximum contribution is also 2 BNB.
So, and just again, to reiterate on that level, there's nothing in between. So either 1 or 2, nothing 1.567, please, guys. Either 1 or 2.
Okay.
That's correct. It just becomes a logistics nightmare to work out the how much is left in the allocation and stuff. But correct. So in the pre-sale, you can put in whatever amount you want. It's managed by the launchpad. They'll handle the calculations. But for the private sale, it's either 1 or 2 for the allocation.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your question.
Good question, by the way. Guys, please don't be shy. Ask, no matter how silly you think it is, or if you think someone answered it, just ask, because somebody might be thinking the same thing you are.
Guys, I didn't. Oh, sorry. I think
That's 2 of you guys together. Can we do it one by one?
All right, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I mean, I just asked, but I have also one question in my mind regarding staking. Are you planning to have staking for us in the future?
So at the moment, we're not going to open the exchange with any kind of derivative trading. That's definitely not that we're not going to do it. It's at the beginning when we open, we won't have derivatives trading. So we are looking into it. We will do it in the future. It's not something that we've said no to. It's something that we've said no to when we start off.
Yeah, just to touch on that. So the reasoning for that is that for staking, derivatives trading, leverage trading, it's a different money service business license. And you need to qualify for that license. So we won't be able to launch with that qualification, but we'll definitely evolve into that qualification. But yeah, we will be developing it into our platform. It just will be made available for use at our launch.
Thanks for the answer, guys. Thank you.
Not a problem.
You're very
Go
welcome.
ahead.
I think Titan had a question. Hey, Titan, how are you?
I'm fine, brother. Thank you. Just want to say good job, guys. Very bullish on the launch and the pre-sale. We got this. Yeah. Thanks,
I
guys.
appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming and supporting us.
No worries. You're welcome, brother. Anytime.
So it is confirmed that the pre-sale launchpad will be not on XSOL.
I'm sorry, come again, please.
So it is confirmed that the pre-sale launchpad will be not on XSOL.
Might be on DXL. I do want to test that other platform. So I did test a lot of launchpads, and this was one I didn't test when we announced DXL. So to be fair to all the launchpads, I do want to test this one as well. And if it does prove that it is more beneficial to launch through that platform, we'll develop some documentation to help you guys, participate in there.
Great question. Great question. If you guys know us from the past, or if you're just joining in, we're always fair as much as possibly possible, right? So if there is something that someone suggested, we will take a look at it. And this is what Neville's saying. Someone suggested it, and he's going to take a look into it and see if it's something that we're willing to use.
Hello. So whoever accepted to a private sale will be able to buy 2 BNB, or is there going to be any hard cap to fill?
So for the private sale, So for the private sale, yes, there is a limit to how many BNB we need to raise. So once that limit is reached, we will, we're going to be whitelisting you in the pre-sale as well. So if you weren't one of those top shillers in the raid army, then you will be still able to participate in the pre-sale for the efforts that you put forth in the shill group.
But whoever gets into private sale is going to be able to buy 2 BNB.
Correct. So you'll be able to. So we're gonna select the top shillers, right? So we have everyone. Like Combot's been tracking everyone. So we have the analytics for that. The admin team will put together the list, and you will receive your invitation first. And then if everyone puts in one, or people can't put in one, whatever's left out of the allocation, we'll move on to invite the next bunch of people. But with that said, everyone else will be included in the pre-sale.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Thanks for the question.
You're very welcome. That's actually a good question. Guys, again, if you have a question and you're shy, don't be. Please ask. You never know who else might be thinking the same thing that you are.
Okay, how many are going to be selected from the raid group? How many are going to be selected for the private sale?
So it depends, right? So we have a maximum allocation that we have to hit. So where we stand right now in the shill army, we are in a really good position to fill it. But if it doesn't fill, then we'll extend it. So we're looking at close to 200 people, or 150 to 200 people to fill that allocation.
Okay. Thank you.
We had no problem filling it in last time. It actually sold out in under 2 seconds.
Wow.
Kumar, did you have a question? I'm sorry, your mic was on and I had to mute you because someone was talking. And Fusion, I'm gonna go ahead and ask your question. Notice your hand was up, Fusion.
I see Mikhail's mic's unmuted. Mikhail, do you have a question?
Oh no, I must have hit it accidentally. I'm just listening.
Oh, right on.
Guys, if we can allow people to speak, admins, if you can help me out here.
Fusion, you're unmuted. Do you want to go ahead and ask your question if you have one?
Hello, good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you for the great AMA and hard work. I see that DXL is still an option for the pre-sale, and I just have a little bit concern of it because I experienced it before. I was part of the community that was using DXL as a launchpad, and part of it was giving DXL 3.2% of the total supply, and this is apparently a common practice. And the problem is these guys started selling periodically through all the time, like from first week until first month. And imagine like first week 3%. So it was like ridiculous amount of 100 growth in the project. So I'm asking like if you guys will consider the Excel as an option, will you still be doing that, or if there's another
Right.
way or
So we have accommodated for it, and I'm gonna let Neville, why don't you go ahead and elaborate on that.
Right. So you're
With-
correct. There are fees. There are fees aligned with using any launchpad, and we did look into it. And what we're going to do is for the allocation that is going to DXSale, if we do select to go with DXSale, right? So again, we're still testing this other platform. We will vest those, right? So we'll make it where they can't just come in and dump on the project, because we definitely understand that. And that's been the experience with not just DXSale, right? So a lot of launchpads have that same kind of behavior. So we took that into consideration when we created this contract and the functions and features in the contract to prevent it.
That's great. Perfect. Answered my question perfectly. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Thanks for your question.
Hey, Neville, Chris.
Hey, Bishara, how are you?
Gary.
Sarah, how are you?
How you guys doing? I'm good, man. Just a touch. Always good, man. Good seeing you. Like that bling bling on your ear, Chris, man. Looking slick, bro. And hey, I had a question. Can you address this issue with DXSale and Unicrypt and all that, those platforms? Why not focus and look at doing it from the website? I've been in projects that they avoided all those platforms, and doing it from the website has worked beautifully. And you control the contract. You control.
You're breaking up a lot, but I did get your question. So, yeah, so we were looking at launching it directly through our website, but it ties into compliance and regulation. Yep. So I got your question. So you're asking why don't we do it directly from our website and just do a launchpad through our website? And the answer to that is that regulations and compliancy in Canada, we are technically not allowed to do an initial coin or token offering through our platform until we are given the green light. So if we were to go and do this launch through our platform directly, we would be breaching that regulation or that rule. Another thing is that is a differentiator for us is so our token, because we're launching it through the BSC, it is tradable. So that is the loophole we have, not loophole so to speak, but the gray area that we have in operation, that we can still offer these tokens legally, but it just can't come from our platform. So there's so much to consider that you guys have no idea. Like there's so many regulations and rules in place that we have to abide by with everything that we do, even down to where we launch from or how we launch. Like we're trying to do everything as legitimately and by the books as possible. So when the time does come, when the OSC one says, hey, okay, time for your audit, let's look at what you did. Every step is documented for them. Every step is in compliance with what they're looking for, and we want to keep it that way. So that's the reason we're not going to offer it directly through our platform. For this, but when the swap happens to our native coin on our own blockchain, that's different. So we can definitely do that swap when the time comes.
Hello, guys.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, guys.
Hey,
how
how
are
are
you
you?
doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good evening. My name is Disno.
How's it going?
DXA, Pink, say Unicrypt, they are good. They are fine. And I don't know if you've heard of Nova DexPy. They are great and they're going to cost you less of what Dex is going to cost you. So if you want to contact them, I can help you with that. And I have a question to ask. I don't know if I'm permitted to ask a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I want to know if the SteamX is being audited and are you KYC by any third party?
Yes. So previously we were audited twice, once by Desert Finance and once by Solidity Finance. We are taking part in a third audit for this launch, and that's also going to be done through Desert Finance.
Okay, that's great. That's great. If you want to look at Nova Project is also audited by PegSheet and the likes, and are KYC by Assuredify. So if you are looking for a Nova power that is great and they are safe and they are secure, what Nova Dex is all about is we are cleaning out the BSC space that the people that are just try to swine the people money. We don't want that to happen. We want security. We want people money to be safe. Hello, can you hear me? This thing is breaking.
Yeah. So I think what you should do is DM us, and we'll take a look at what you have, there, that why you think they're better. We'll definitely put in some research to it before we go ahead and audit with somebody else. What I was trying to say before is, guys, most projects out here will give you, hey, we have a great idea, but we just want to raise some funds and then do it. This isn't the case with us. We've worked out our own money. We've used our own money. The development has been financed by our own money. Just so you guys, you see the difference here, right? In terms of an audit, most people, we're doing it because it's expected of us in this space. If you really dig in, you see that most companies have not done what we have done. So we're incorporated. You can search up the company and find our names actually attached to it. Some legal paperwork with the government. There's repercussions to doing something wrong, right? So most projects get audited so that you can trust them. Our trust level is you can go ahead on the Canadian official website, search up our company name, and you'll see our names attached to it. You can go ahead and search us up on FinTrack and see our names attached to it, as well as the company. You can see all these legal documents that are through the government website. It's a lot. It speaks a lot higher than an audit to me. But again, we're doing the audit because this is what's expected of in this space, and it's going to keep a lot of people at ease, because people, again, they don't want to go and look for all these details, right? But should you want to, it's all available there. That's the ultimate docs, and that is what we did. So if you do have some other preferred method of auditing, you can go ahead, send us a message. We will take a look at it, and we'll definitely go with the best one there is there.
That's good. That's good. I know. Team Exchange, you're a great project. You're good, and
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, I'm just introducing a kind of part that is safe from both.
Yeah, you can go ahead and send us a DM. We'll take a look at that. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
Is it you or Navi?
Yeah, so you can actually send the DM to me, and I'll loop you in with Enki, and we'll look at it together.
All right, thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you, my man. Christian, I think you had a question as well, right? Did you want to ask your question?
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
So we have, doing good. How are you guys?
Thank you for being here.
Good.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. So we have the private pre-sale, and then we have the whitelist. Now, is there by any chance that if those two pre-sales have reached the hard cap, that there will be no public pre-sale?
So one of the private sale is like exactly that. So it's a private sale, and the pre-sale is split into two tiers, right? So you have the whitelist tier, and then you have the public tier. So the whitelist tier is going to be on a time limit, right? So it's whatever the limitations are of the platform. So if that's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, after that it's going to move to public, and anyone can buy. And then after that, it's going to go launch to PancakeSwap for also the public to buy.
So Neville, maybe explain the 3 tiers. Maybe explain the 3 tiers and what's the difference.
Yeah, for sure, right? So actually, we're only doing 2 tiers now, Gary. So we're doing the first tier is the whitelist tier, and that has the best pricing on the allocation, which is 1 BNB equals 20 million tokens. And then the public tier, which is not whitelisted, will have a little bit higher price floor, which is 1 BNB equals 17.5 million tokens. And then it will also launch on PancakeSwap at 1 BNB equals 17.5 million tokens. So that's I guess the 3 tiers if I look at it that way. But you have the private sale, the pre-sale, tier 1, tier 2, and then PancakeSwap launch.
Right. So again, it is 2 tiers, but it's somewhat like 3 because you got the private, the whitelist, and then if the whitelist doesn't fill it, it'll go to the public. So I hope that made it clear, right, guys?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, Hilal. Go
Okay.
ahead.
How are you?
Yeah, I want to ask about the buy and sell tax, and also, are you still going to have the swap and liquefy, or what other measures do you have to protect the charge
Awesome. That's for you.
after launch?
We don't have a different tax for each function, but the swap and liquefy isn't a function differently this time. So the first time around, we had team wallets, right? So we had team tokens. We had like 5 wallets for different purposes, like research, marketing, infrastructure, operations, whatever. But this time we're not doing any team tokens, right? So we're not going to have any tokens that we can sell. What we are doing instead is that the swap and liquefy allocations outside of the reflection and the automatic LP is going to go to 2 places. It's going to go to the platform development wallet and also the marketing wallet. So that's not going to happen in tokens. That's going to happen in BNB, right? So swap and liquefy will swap it once it accumulates X amount of tokens, and then it'll push it to the appropriate wallets. So there's going to be no actual manual selling of tokens by the team.
Yeah, I mean, what measures then do you have to protect the charge? That's what I'm asking.
So there's a lot of there are functions in the contract to protect the chart. After our audit's complete and when we launch, we'll make the contract public, and then we'll talk more about those functions as we approach. We just don't want to talk about them too early. So once we get to that stage, we'll definitely talk about them.
Guys, I have a question.
Thanks, Alal. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, so my question is regarding your centralized exchange. I mean, obviously, compliance is a very big issue, and you obviously want to be like abiding by every regulation that's thrown at you. So, like when you thought about making the centralized exchange, what were the biggest hurdles that you thought of that you will face in the future? Could you talk about it a bit?
So there's a few things we can talk about. There's a few things we can't talk about, but the gist of it is OSC. We're compliant with OSC as it stands right now, which is the Ontario Securities Commissioner. We have got our FINTRAC number, which is the money service business, and that is literally what we needed to be compliant and operate.
Okay.
So I think Roger had a question after you. So Killer, unless that's all of it, do you have something else you want to ask?
Isoro sent message that V1 holder will migrate to V2. Approximately how many are there from V1 holder, and are they will be airdrop with 1-to-1 ratio?
Right.
So from
Okay,
our
so-
original, okay, now we'll go ahead.
Okay, so yes, so V1 will be dropped at a 1-to-1 ratio for V2. There are about, I can tell you the exact number actually. The supply makes up about like 19% or a little bit less actually, because we're always digging into it to find, people that have swapped or whatever. So also there's also some people that had issues with buying after the fact, and we refunded them for those tokens. So as those came up, we updated the list. So we're sitting at about 19% for the drop rate, and yes, it'll be 1-for-1.
Great. Roger, go ahead before somebody else jumps in. I know you had your hand up. I have unmuted you.
Hey, gentlemen, thanks a lot for holding this AMA to help your current V1 holders and your new V2 holders. I wanted to commend the team on the fact that you guys are actually the first crypto project that I think I've seen that doesn't have a dev wallet. So I commend that. And more importantly, I commended the fact that you guys actually have a money service business license and a FINTRAC number, because there isn't any projects on the BSC scan that has that type of level.
Yeah, you know it's not easy to get, and how legit you have to be to actually get that from the government.
Yeah. So, with all due respect, with everyone here on this in this AMA, I'm excited to be here. I'm looking forward to the launch. I've told a lot of people about this project. I'm very excited. I think this project is run by real professionals, and you know, there's a lot of amateurs in this space. And you know, when you hire an amateur to build a house versus a professional to build a house, it's two different types of things, right? So I'm really excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to the launch, man.
Yeah, you should have mentioned you're from the stock market, so you got a little bit more background in terms of MSB licenses, and you know we mean business when we get one of those.
Oh yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. No, yeah. I run a channel called Business Financial
Yeah,
Network on YouTube.
stock is
And
completely a different animal too, but the license is the same.
yeah, exactly. So what these guys are doing here is revolutionary. As Binance is going to be moving out of Canada, and I know here at Business Financial Network, we're looking forward to see these guys launch. You know, we're telling people that you know that are whales to sit down and take a good look at this because this is the future. You guys are watching it right now. You guys are here for it right now, and I hope you guys appreciate that. And everyone that got involved in V1, juiced by you guys, man. You guys got involved in the right project. You backed the right horse.
Well, we definitely appreciate you being here, supporting us, and coming to our AMA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right on. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
You're welcome, gents. You don't have to mention it. Professionals are professionals, right? You know, we don't recognize it's real. So
Thank you. So, guys, I think the recording is taking up a lot of data here. I think we're going to stop the official AMA at this point. Unless, Neville, did you get some questions there pinged over to you by someone who wasn't able to attend?
Yes, we have a couple questions for sure.
Okay, so let's go over those, and then we'll close the AMA section, and then we'll leave the voice chat open for anyone that was shy and doesn't want to go to the recording.
Right on. So someone asked a question that ties into our platform and handling making and taking. So what will happen if the exchange gets flooded with people who want to buy the dip? Because Binance, for example, says they can't handle the traffic, while other exchanges like Robinhood had almost no problems. Okay, so the way that functions for us is that, like Gary mentioned, we're building not just one platform, right? So we're building three, and we're putting them all together, and that one of the main purposes is for making and taking. So if you have an order that is significantly large, or you have a volume of orders that the platform infrastructure couldn't handle right away, your order will, once it meets that threshold, will move to the decentralized aspect and will get filled there. So we are definitely going to be geared for handling that kind of volume and also handling the volume of transaction size. So no matter how big or small your transaction is, you will get your order filled at Steem Exchange. So that was definitely a really good question. There's another one I can ask or answer. So there was a request from Bill. So thank you, Bill, for this. So he's asking everyone here on this AMA if you can go to CoinSniper and do the upvote because we're almost at 500 votes. So we're almost listed on CoinSniper. So if you guys can go ahead and do that, that'd be great. One of the admins can drop the link in the chat. It looks like we answered the rest of them through the AMA, so we should be good to close out. We can do a last call for questions, though. So does anyone from the voice chat have a question? All right, perfect. Well, thank you everyone for joining. We'll end the official segment of the AMA, and we'll just stay on voice chat if you just want to sit in and chat and ask us any other questions.
I guess I had a quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
For the exchange, will you guys be able to like trade? For example, I know Binance now started having like Tesla and certain other companies. Would that be an option on your exchange as well?
So you mean like non-crypto stocks?
Yeah, but I know you can actually buy, for example, Tesla it was actually being offered as a crypto. You can actually buy partial, and it'll still be crypto, but you'll still own part of Tesla. I know there's other companies like Neo. Neo's like an automotive electric vehicle company. I know they're also looking to get in crypto. So it seems like some of these other companies are also going to move companies that are traded on the exchange into crypto as well. And I guess, is there going to be a fork for that as well in your platform?
So definitely any modern functions and features, right? So we're definitely baselining ourselves to be as good, if not better, than the major platforms, right? So if that is something one of our competitors is offering, that is 100% something we're going to look at, and we'll also look at making it better, right? So that's been one of the going things for us, that everything we touch, we do want to make it the best in class, right? So any function or feature you use on Steam Exchange, it will be the best that you've used anywhere else.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Yeah, I definitely like that idea. That's something we can definitely put on the books for future consideration, 100%.
That was definitely a question for you. Yeah, go ahead, Mikhail.
Real quick question. Sorry to lose my voice again. Is there going to be any requirements for you putting coins, certain coins on the exchange? Because Gary, I know that you mine, and one of the things that I was thinking I'm looking at getting in mining, and some of these smaller end mineable coins are hard to access on certain exchanges. So that might be something to look into for future to get more people to come to Steam Exchange.
So we're gonna vet them before. Definitely, if there's a big request from the community, we're gonna look at it first before looking at others. There will be a form where you can submit, please add this kind of coin, because some of the actually all of them that you mine are not on the decentralized end, unless they were pre-built like it, because they're not a token, they're a coin. So when we launch, obviously it's very expensive to run all of these. We'll have a list of what's given that we're gonna go ahead and provide, and then we'll have a few slots where the community will be asked, what do you want to put in there. We'll take it all in from the community, and then we'll put it up for a vote. Okay, and moving forward, we can't just launch with 1,000 coins. I mean, BSC space is one thing. We can launch all of these, no problem. But all the other ones, they require, most of them, their own server. You could get away with putting 2 or 3 on one server, but you definitely want to spread them out into their own servers because they have their own blockchain that constantly grows. So definitely will be an option for you to submit something in particular that you want that's not out there yet. But it's for the community. Right? There's got to be a need for it. We're not going to put it on for 2 people. We're going to put it on if 1,000 people ask for it, for example, right?
For sure. Like Raven Coin is one of the profitable mineable coins right now. A lot of people are into that. Like you said.
Yeah, there will be a form for you where you can submit whatever other dog coin you want to submit, right? But
sure.
You understand where I'm coming from.
No,
like
absolutely.
each one of these servers is a few $1,000s a month, right?
Right, and then it also ties into the quality of the project, right? So we have to be careful what we list on our platform, because we're aiming to be compliant and regulated. We have to be careful what we sell or trade or make available to trade rather, more than other platforms, right? So anything that has to do with mining and stuff, it's definitely right up Gary's alley, and he would love to list them all. But there's definitely going to be a really strong vetting process for listing, tokens and coins onto our platform. But yeah, more information will definitely come on that through the development of stage 3. I know that's.
The positive thing about coins that you mine, they're typically not a rug, right? So they do have something going for them. But Neville said more on that later. There's not much we can say about that right now.
For sure. All right, I appreciate it.
No problem, guys. We're going to close down the recording. We're going to shut down the official AMA. We all appreciate you guys here. We sincerely thank you guys for coming along and making time in your day, especially on a day like today, to be here and spend some time with us. We're going to keep the voice chat open. It will no longer be the official AMA, and the next official AMA is again in 2 weeks. Other than the launch day, we will be available on launch day. The chat will be muted prior to the launch, and we will drop you the contract address in the main chat, and it will be pinned. Should you get something that's not pinned, somebody DM'd you, again, our team, our admins, we will never, ever, ever send you a request to send money for the private sale, public sale, whitelist. We will never send you a contract address. We will put it in the pin. It will be an official pin message from us in the official channel. That is the only source to get it. If somebody DMs you and says, I found, this is it. I promise you this is it. I found it before anybody else, buy in. It's not true. It's a scam. Okay, guys? Thank you all for being here. We will keep the voice chat open. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll stick around. I will be back in about 10 minutes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Great AMA.